I want you to imagine something before we start. Imagine a moment, a specific moment. It has not happened yet, but it is coming. And I need you to feel it before I explain what it is. Because feeling it first is important. You are standing somewhere. Maybe it is a room full of people who once looked straight past you like you were simply part of the background. People who had full access to you, who were in the same spaces as you, who could see you right in front of them, and whose eyes moved past you anyway to something they found more interesting or more valuable. Maybe it is a digital space where your name is suddenly showing up in conversations you were never part of before. People sharing what you made. People responding to something you said with a kind of recognition that tells you it landed somewhere genuinely real in them. People reaching out because what you put into the world found them at the exact moment they needed it. Maybe it is a professional setting where someone who once sized you up and found the measurement lacking is now watching you operate at a level they genuinely did not see coming. And something in their face has changed. Something in how they hold themselves in your presence is different. The comfortable dismissal is gone, and something more uncomfortable has replaced it, the recognition of what they missed and what that missing cost them. Maybe it is something quieter and more private than all of that. Just you, alone in a room, looking at what you have built and what you have become, and something settling in your chest that has been restless for a very long time. And in that moment, you understand with a clarity that requires no further evidence that everything you went through was not punishment. It was not randomness. It was not you drawing the short straw in some cosmic lottery. Every season of being overlooked, every moment of doing excellent work in a space that was not yet ready to see it for what it was. Every time your name was absent from a room where it should have been present. Every time someone looked at what you were offering and decided it was not quite what they were looking for. Every time you held what you were building quietly because the environment around you was not yet ready to receive the full weight of it. All of it was preparation. All of it was the shadow. And in this moment, you are standing in the light, full light. And the world that once looked past you is looking directly at you now. Feel that. Let it sit in your body for just a moment before we go anywhere else. That moment is coming for you. Not as a best case scenario. Not as a possibility that depends on everything going right. It is coming with the kind of certainty I feel in readings where spirit is not speaking in suggestions, but in declarations. The kind where every card that comes out is pointing in the same direction from a different angle. And by the time we reach the end of this reading, I am going to bring you back to this exact scene, and you are going to understand not just that it is approaching, but how close it actually is, what it is going to look like when it arrives, and what to watch for so that you recognize it when it starts to happen. My name is Elena, and today is a prediction reading, not vague spiritual language that can be bent to mean whatever feels comfortable. A real directional specific prediction about what is moving toward the soul that found this video today. Let's go into the cards. Before I even reached for the deck, the color gold came through. Not soft or muted gold. Full, warm, unmistakable, bright gold. The kind that catches light from across a room without doing a single thing to earn the attention. The kind you notice even when you are looking for something else. Spirit is saying this color is significant for you right now, in this specific season. Either it appears in your personal world in a way that feels meaningful, or it is the color of the energy that has been gathering around you as what is coming gets closer to the surface of your life. Gold in spiritual understanding is the color of recognized value, of worth that was always genuinely present, finally being seen clearly and accurately by the people and the spaces that matter. And the fact that gold arrived before a single card was pulled is not accidental. Spirit is not being cautious or tentative with this reading. Spirit is being direct. The letter R is coming through clearly. Or possibly the letter K. Hold both. They will connect to something specific before this is finished. The first card out of this deck is the 8 of Pentacles reversed. And this card in the position of where you currently stand, your present energy, The season you are coming out of, the place you occupy right now as you move toward what is approaching, is so precisely accurate that I had to pause with it for a moment before I could speak. The Eight of Pentacles upright is the craftsperson, the one who is putting in hours in the background without a significant audience for the work. Refining the skill, building the thing, showing up to the process day after day with a devotion that the people immediately around them often do not fully see or appreciate, because the most important part of the work is happening in private. Not because the work is not significant, because the season has not yet arrived where what is being built becomes visible to the right people. This is the card of the long private season of preparation, of becoming ready in a space where the readiness is not being witnessed or confirmed from outside. And if you have been in this season, if you have been building something, working on something, becoming something, in a way that the people around you have not had complete access to, you already know exactly what this card is describing without me having to say another word about it. You feel it in your chest when you hear the words. Reversed in this position, the card is telling me this season is completing. The chapter of building without being seen is in its final pages, not the second to last page, the final one. What has been crafted in private, shaped in the quiet, refined in the shadow of your own consistency, is ready. Not almost ready, not getting close to ready. Ready, and there is a difference between those two things that anyone who has been living inside the work knows how to feel in their body without needing to analyze it mentally. Spirit keeps pressing on something with this card that I want to name clearly. You have been more thorough in this process than you have let on to the people around you. More devoted to what you have been building than the version of it they have access to suggests. More certain about the direction, even in the periods when the certainty had absolutely no external support. You did not release what you have been building before it was ready, because something in you has always understood that when it finally lands, it needs to land fully and correctly, not partially, not before the moment is right. That understanding was not overthinking. That was wisdom operating correctly. And the readiness that wisdom has been protecting is now here. And I want to say something about that shadow season before we go any further, because I think it deserves more than just being named and moved past. The shadow season is not a failure. It is not evidence that things are going wrong or that you are somehow behind where you should be. The shadow season is where the real work happens. It is where the foundation gets laid properly. It is where a soul discovers what it is actually made of when there is no applause, no external confirmation, no audience watching and responding to what is being built. The shadow season tests whether the thing you are building is being built for real reasons or for performance reasons, whether the work has actual substance or whether it only exists in the presence of recognition. And what Spirit is showing me about your shadow season is that you passed that test. What you have been building in the quiet is real. It would still be real even if no one ever saw it. The fact that people are about to see it does not make it real. It was always real. The visibility is just the world finally catching up to what was already true. Virgo energy runs strongly through the Eight of Pentacles reversed. That devoted, precise, this will not leave my hands until it is genuinely right quality. That is one of the rarest and most valuable things a building soul can carry through a long season of work. If you carry Virgo in your chart, especially as a sun, moon, or rising, this card is confirming something you have felt building in yourself for months. That internal sense of almost. That quiet knowing that something is approaching a readiness that was not present 6 months ago. Not almost good enough, almost fully prepared for what is already in motion and moving toward you. Numbers with this card, 8 and 26. Birthdays on the 8th or 26th of any month. August highlighted strongly. Deep forest green surrounding this card, the color of things that have been growing in the quiet and the dark, building root and strength and depth before they emerge into the open air. And I want to speak to something that I think lives underneath the surface of the exhaustion that comes with a long shadow season. Because there is a specific kind of tiredness that does not come from working too hard or sleeping too little. It comes from doing excellent work in a space that does not yet have the capacity to receive it properly. From pouring genuine quality and genuine effort into something and having it land in environments that are not quite ready to understand what they are being given. That specific tiredness is one of the loneliest feelings available to a human being because it is invisible. From the outside, you look like someone who is simply continuing, who is simply doing the work. And you are. But underneath the continuing there is this quiet ache that comes from knowing what you are giving and watching it not be received at its actual value. Spirit sees that ache. The Eight of Pentacles reversed sees it. And what both are telling me is that the environment that was not ready is changing. The spaces that could not receive what you were offering are either shifting to become ready or falling away to make room for the spaces that were always meant to receive it. The second card is the Tower. And before your body responds to seeing this card in a prediction reading, I need you to hear something first. In this specific position, the Tower is not a warning. It is not telling you that something is coming to take from you or disrupt what you have built. It is describing the mechanism through which what is predicted begins to arrive. It is describing the first visible shift. The Tower sits in the position of the first thing that moves. The first change that becomes visible in your landscape, as what the cards are predicting, begins to make its way into the physical reality of your life. And what Spirit is showing me through this card is that there is something in your current arrangement, a dynamic, a structure, a way that things have been set up around you that has had a ceiling built into it. Not an obvious ceiling, the subtle kind. The kind that limits how far you can be seen, how fully you can be recognized, how completely you can step into what you actually are while you are operating within its borders. You may have felt this ceiling without being able to name it precisely. That particular frustration of being almost visible, almost there, almost able to fully arrive at something, without quite being able to close the final distance no matter what you do. That is the thing the Tower is about to bring down. And I want to be clear about what coming down means here, because the Tower in this position is targeted. It is specific. The ceiling falls. The thing that was limiting your visibility shifts, moves, reveals itself as something you no longer need to organize your life around, or simply dissolves the way structures that have outlived their usefulness eventually do. And when it goes there, is nothing left between you and the full light except your own willingness to walk into it. Uranus and Aries energy come with this card. The sudden, the faster than expected, the breakthrough that does not send a great deal of advance warning before it arrives. If you carry Aries or any strong fire in your chart, the Tower as the first shift in this reading is going to feel more like a door swinging open than a wall collapsing. The experience from the inside is going to feel like relief more than disruption, because you are ready. And readiness changes everything about how a Tower moment is experienced. Numbers 16 and 7. Birthdays on the 16th or 7th of any month. Electric blue around this card. Sharp and sudden and absolutely clear. The precise color of the moment something changes permanently, and there is no going back to what was there before. The third card is the Sun. In the position of the unexpected element, the thing in this prediction you did not see coming, the thing Spirit is specifically asking me to name. Because once you hear it, it reframes how you understand everything else in this reading. The Sun arrived, and I audibly exhaled when I turned it over. There are two things the Sun in this position is showing me that you did not anticipate about what is coming. The first is the speed. You have been in a slow season long enough that your body has unconsciously recalibrated its sense of what normal pace feels like. You stopped expecting fast movement because the recent evidence did not support expecting it. You adjusted. You started living inside long timelines and gradual shifts, and one careful step followed by another. And somewhere in that adjustment, the internal expectation of rapid movement became harder to access, even as things around you began to change. The sun, as the unexpected element, is saying the pace of what is coming is not going to match the pace you have been living in. When it starts, it is going to move with the speed of light, returning to a space that has been without it, not brightening gradually the way dawn does. Arriving, completely present in a moment where the moment before it was not. The sun does not ease itself incrementally above the horizon. It appears, and everything is lit. The second unexpected thing is the quality of how it feels when it arrives. You have been waiting long enough that somewhere underneath the hope you are still carrying, you have been quietly building a layer of managed expectation. A protection against the gap between what you originally imagined and what the current reality has been delivering. And inside that protection is a quiet belief that when the recognition finally comes, it will feel somewhat less than the original version of it you held before the waiting wore the edges smooth. The sun is directly and specifically correcting that belief. What is coming is going to feel exactly as good as you originally imagined before you started protecting yourself. The warmth of it is going to reach you completely. You are going to receive it without immediately looking for what is wrong with it or waiting for it to be taken back. That is a thing you did not see coming. Not just that it arrives, but that when it does, you are finally going to let it actually land in you fully. Leo runs through the sun in this position. The full expression, the full presence, the full unapologetic inhabiting of what belongs to you. Numbers 19 and 1. January. Bright, warm amber light that fills a space completely and does not ask permission to do so. The fourth card is the Ace of Wands. This is the arrival card. The card that shows what the prediction looks like when it comes into the actual physical, visible reality of your life. What you will be able to point to afterward and say with certainty, that was it. That was the moment where everything changed direction. The Ace of Wands carries fire from the very first moment it arrives. It does not need a warming up period. It does not need to accumulate momentum before it can move. It arrives already in motion, already generating energy, already creating more of what it brings simply by being present. And what this card is showing me about your specific arrival is something I want to say carefully, because I think the specificity matters. The visibility is not the final destination. It is the opening that makes the real destination reachable. What is coming is not just being seen. It is a new beginning built on top of being seen. A door that recognition makes accessible. And that beginning carries the energy of the Ace of Wands fire already in it. Momentum already present. Not something you have to coax into moving, but something that arrives already knowing where it is going. Your name enters spaces it has not occupied before. What you have built, what you know, what you carry, what you have been refining in the quiet of the Eight of Pentacles season goes into rooms and conversations and opportunities that were not previously accessible to it. And the way it enters those spaces is not through forcing or pushing or making yourself impossible to ignore through sheer will. It enters because what you built is exactly what a particular space needed, and you are the person they reach toward to provide it. The invitation comes from outside toward you. You do not fight your way in. The door opens, and you are called through it. There is something else I want to say about the Ace of Wands in this position that I think will matter to you. The Ace of Wands does not arrive for people who have been waiting passively. It does not land in the lap of someone who simply endured a shadow season without doing anything inside it. The fire in the Ace of Wands is a response to fire that already exists. It is the universe meeting something that was already burning. And what has been burning in you throughout this entire season, quietly, consistently, without requiring external fuel to keep going, is the thing that has made you magnetic to what is coming. You did not wait in the shadow. You worked in the shadow. You built in the shadow. You refined in the shadow. You kept the fire going in the shadow when there was no external source of warmth to draw from. And the Ace of Wands is fire responding to fire. It is the outside world finally catching the light of something that has been burning inside you for a very long time and moving toward it. Because fire always finds fire eventually. What is coming toward you is not random. It is drawn. It is drawn by what you have been, consistently and without performance, in the private hours of the building season. That is the Ace of Wands. That is what it is made of. That is why it arrives with momentum already in it, because you already created the momentum. The external arrival is simply the moment the outside catches up to what has been true on the inside. Aries and Sagittarius move with the Ace of Wands, the fire to begin and the vision to understand where the beginning leads. Numbers 1 and 9. The letter D or F circling this card, connected to the invitation itself, or to the person whose hands are carrying it toward you right now. Here is what to watch for. 3 specific signs that tell you the arrival has already begun. The first sign is a shift in how the people who already know you respond to you. Before any new external spaces or opportunities appear, before your name reaches rooms it has not been in, the people who are already in your life are going to begin responding to you differently. Something in the quality of attention when you speak. Something in how seriously they receive what you say. A new weight to your presence in familiar spaces. This happens first because the energy of what is approaching lands in your immediate environment before it reaches the wider world. When someone who has known you for years suddenly seems to hear you differently, that is the leading edge of everything the cards are describing today. The second sign is an unexpected connection becoming significant. Someone on the periphery of your life moves toward the center in a way neither of you planned. A conversation that begins ordinarily goes somewhere that opens a door. Watch for the connection that surprises you with its direction. That is the Ace of Wands moving through your people. The third sign is an impulse that feels slightly too large for your current moment. An idea, a project, something you feel compelled to create or say or do that feels bigger than what your present circumstances seem to support. Do not wait for the circumstances to match the size of the impulse. Move with it. It is correctly sized for where you are going, not for where you currently are. That impulse is the Ace of Wands arriving in your body before it arrives in your world. The fifth card is the Star. In the position of what must stay intact inside you between now and the full arrival, what you need to actively protect and tend to during this transition, the Star carries the most important single instruction in this reading. Hold your hope fully, not carefully. Not in the protected, managed way a long shadow season teaches a person to hold what matters most. Hold it the way you held it at the beginning, before the waiting made you careful. Both hands open. Nothing pulled back, nothing braced in advance. Because the one thing that can slow the fullness of this arrival, not stop it, the cards are clear and consistent, and this is happening. But slow the speed and completeness of it is arriving at the open door in a contracted state. With your energy pulled in, with your presence smaller than it actually is. Because a long season of not being seen teaches the body to make itself smaller as its default setting. The Star is asking you to actively work against that default now. Before the door opens, practice full presence in the private moments, in the daily spaces, in the ordinary hours, so that when the public door swings open, you walk through it already expanded, already at full size. The Star is not just confirming the arrival, it is preparing you to receive it completely when it comes. The Star also carries something I want to name very specifically about what full presence actually looks like in practice. Because I think presence is one of those words that can float without meaning unless it is grounded in something real. Full presence in the context of what the Star is asking you to practice does not mean being louder or more assertive or taking up more physical space. It means bringing the whole of your awareness into the moment you are actually in. Not the moment you are preparing for. Not the version of the moment that is happening in the future when the visibility has arrived. The actual current moment. The current conversation. The current project. The current interaction. bringing all of you into it instead of the managed, slightly held back version that a long season of not being fully seen can train a person to bring. It means letting yourself be actually moved by what moves you, actually lit up by what lights you up, actually present to the quality of what you are doing while you are doing it. That practice of full presence in the ordinary hours is what the star is asking for. And the reason it matters for the arrival is that the people who are going to open the doors are going to recognize you first by the quality of your presence before they ever assess the quality of your work. Presence is what they feel before they can name what they are responding to. And yours, at full, is unmistakable. Aquarius runs through the star. The trust of the one who holds what is true before the evidence exists to confirm it. Numbers 17 and 8. Clean, full white light. The light of something that simply cannot be dimmed regardless of how long the dark went on. Confirmations now. Letters running through this reading are K, D, F, J, M, and a clear L toward the close of the energy. Names coming through Rania, Camille, Diana, Farida, James, Maya, Layla, Noah, Camille, Sophia, Ryan. Take what lands in your body without analysis. Astrology Virgo, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Gemini, and a thread of Taurus all present in this reading. Fire and earth running together, the patient building quality of earth and the igniting quality of fire working in combination. That is precisely what this prediction is constructed from. Numbers across the full reading: 1, 7, 8, 9, 16, 17, 19, 26. August, January, October highlighted. Flowers, sunflower, marigold, anything that orients itself naturally toward the light. Colors: gold, electric blue, forest green, amber, full white. If you want to go deeper into what this prediction looks like in the specific details of your life, the precise timeline, the area where the arrival is happening, the exact next move available to you right now, I do private email readings, and the link is in the description. Come back to the comments when the moment arrives. Tell me when it happens. I want to hear it from you directly. Now let me bring you back to where we started. At the very beginning, I asked you to imagine a moment, standing in full light. Your name in spaces it was not in before. The people who looked past you, now looking directly at you. What you built being seen by exactly the people who were always meant to see it. I asked you to feel that scene before a single card was explained, because I wanted that feeling living in your body as the ground beneath everything the cards then confirmed. Now you know what it is made from. The Eight of Pentacles reversed, the preparation is complete. The tower, the ceiling that limited your visibility, is coming down. The sun, the arrival, is faster than you expect, and it is going to feel exactly as good as you always knew it should. The Ace of Wands, a beginning with fire already in it. Doors opening not through force, but through the right people finding what you built and reaching toward you because of it. The Star, hold the hope fully, practice full presence now, arrive at the open door already expanded and ready. You stayed in the shadow and you did not quit while you were there. You kept the quality of what you were building high, even when no one was watching closely enough to appreciate that quality. You maintained your direction even in the seasons when that direction had no external confirmation. You held your hope even when holding it cost you something real. You kept being fully yourself in the private spaces, even when the public spaces gave you no reason to believe those spaces were ever going to open. That season served its full purpose. It built exactly what needed to be built in exactly the way it needed to be built. And now the preparation is complete, and the ceiling is coming down, and the light is arriving faster than you think, and the Ace of Wands is already moving. The whole world is about to see what the shadow already knew about you. You were always this. Now everyone else gets to find out. I also want to address something about the closing of the loop between where you started this reading and where you are now. Because I think when you sat down to watch this video, you brought a specific feeling with you. Maybe it was the quiet tiredness I described at the beginning. Maybe it was a restlessness that has been sitting in you for a while. That feeling of something approaching that you cannot quite see yet, but that you can sense in the way the air feels different before a change in weather. Maybe it was something simpler, just the particular pull of a title that felt like it knew something about you before you clicked on it. Whatever brought you here, Spirit is saying it was not coincidence and it was not casual. The soul that found this reading today found it because it was ready to receive what this reading contains. Not just the hopeful parts, the specific parts. The parts that name what this season has actually been, what has been built inside it, and what the mechanism of the arrival actually looks like. Readiness to receive a real prediction is not the same as readiness to receive a comfortable one. And the fact that you are still here at this point in the reading tells me something about where you actually are in this process. You are ready, not almost ready, not getting there, ready for the full arrival of what has been building toward you. Leave I know my worth in the comments if this reading found you. Come back and tell me when the moment arrives. I will be watching for it. And if someone in your life is in their shadow season right now, doing the work quietly, holding the hope privately, waiting for the world to turn toward what they have been building, share this with them. Because the shadow was never the destination. It was the preparation. And theirs is almost complete, too. I love you. I am Elena. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.